You see that at the top right? There we go. There's a logo there, and we're live.
All right, there we go. How
Boom!
you
Look
doing?
how fast that is. How fast it is. You ready to? You ready? Do you feel sanitized?
I do. I am actually more Purell than person.
More Purell than person.
In fact, like I spent the whole day today, yesterday at work looking for my Purell after talking to people. Like I had become so.
So yeah, we got that.
It had become part of my routine to Purell down after
conversation. We'll be talking a little bit about that. I'm proud of the geek community here at PAX. I'm proud of them.
Purell East 2020.
At Purell East 2020. That's right. That is absolutely right. Let's kick this off correct. We are starting off with let's drop this real quick.
Let's go.
Boom. Episode 67, brought to you by Purell. Ready to go?
Unofficially.
Unofficial. Yeah. Give me that money, guys. Give me that money. Let's go. All right, look at that. Episode 67 here, back from Boston, unscathed.
Maybe a little scar, but definitely unscathed.
Little scar. The scars feel good. They feel good. Just feeling good.
Welcome to the Mid-Geek crisis. I am cautious.
Woo! Yeah. And I'm Joe, the Afro Man. Welcome. The first time watching. Hopefully we get a few new people in the crowd. A lot of hype, a lot of build up, a lot of people liked, a lot of people followed. I saw some new faces in my Instagram. I saw some new faces on the Twitters. I saw some new faces all over the place. Even people that watched the panel that was streamed live.
Oh, that's right, from the
Coin Up for the Coin Up Collective there. So that was it was good. It was good. So we're gonna talk about PAX. We're talking about PAX. But before we jump into that, it's Tuesday. Real quick, gotta
Tuesday.
Not only Taco Tuesday, it's Super Tuesday.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, sure.
So let's do our civic duty here and a little talk about. Hopefully, everyone out there was able to vote, do what they had to do.
If it is appropriate for them to vote in the primary on Super Tuesday, right? It's not a
right.
Every state doesn't vote, right? So hopefully you voted in the primaries you've had in the past and yada yada yada.
Small PSA. I wanna touch base on this because I've been hearing some weirdness from people, and I want to get it from someone else real quick before we jump into the PAX. And this is just because
on legacy.
Hey, I want to talk about, what do you say to people that say voting isn't important?
What do I say?
Well, I'd like for Papa Cautious to kind of give us a.
I say, okay, you're wrong, but what else are you going to say? Like people are pretty much stuck in their ways if they don't believe it. I mean, I know my brother doesn't really care for it, but he's very much a person who doesn't think his vote matters because no one's looking out for him, right? I get his opinion, and that he thinks his vote doesn't matter because no matter who you vote for, it will wind up being the one effed. Which, yeah, sure, you're right, but at the same time, like, how you say, it's like buying a lottery ticket, right? You're there to have the daydream that maybe it matters.
That's right, Karina. Everyone should have voted for sure. That's my big sister from vote.
You should have voted. There you go.
From Tennessee / Chattanooga / Georgia. She's living in Georgia, working in Chattanooga, right on the border. So
great. It's Chattanooga near Nashville. I hope everybody out there is okay. Really,
not that close, but yes, we've got our friend
from the Proto Men.
From the Proto Men. He's doing okay. He checked in. So
yeah, first person I thought of actually. So.
First person I thought of too this morning when I heard about it. So yeah, that's fantastic that he's all okay. But I saw the call. But yes, guys, don't want to preach too much. I want to talk about that right now about the voting. I just want to make sure that everyone hopefully did.
Well, I think today matters if you're a Democrat, especially, right? This is your one and only opportunity to have sway on the Democratic primary. Like if you're a Republican, then you probably only have one choice, right? But if you're a Democrat, there's a lot of good and interesting choices associated with your own value set. So please go out and vote, regardless of what the press might say about various candidates, regardless of what the horse race nonsense is. It's super important that we pick appropriate leaders, whether it's Bernie or Warren or Biden or whoever you like. Go out and make your voice heard in the primary, because for the Democrats, I think that's the most important thing about stepping out today. So yeah, 2 hours away from Nashville. Good. I hope everyone you know is safe and sound, Karina, because that's quite the tragedy down there.
Yeah. And you're right. I'll end it by saying that this is like you said, it's the one time you get to choose who represents you. And while in the long run, the person you wanted doesn't end up on the ticket, if the values of the other party are not really reflecting what you believe in these past 4 years, then this is the time for unity. This is the time to unite behind one front and do what you got to do. So there you go.
All right. Video games.
Why
everyone here? That was the midlife crisis report.
That was the midlife crisis. Now we're getting into the geek crisis for sure, guys. Oh my God, Boston, the traveling. Oh, always so exhausting, but so fulfilling at the end of it. So fulfilling. It was such a great PAX. Regardless of what the media said about the traveling, we decided to risk it all.
I don't think there was any decision process involved. We were already. Like we were loaded and firing towards our target.
There wasn't no virus
sequence for PAX East for us. There was no.
There is nothing that would have stopped us from going to PAX no matter what.
But and I think in retrospect, PAX East actually did a very good job of ensuring that there was ample supplies to get through. I mean, I've never seen people, wipe down literally everything after I use it. It was pretty intense. Like I tried not to take offense at how quickly they were wiping things down after I touched it at
Oh my God. Yeah, that's right. Rolls. You travel when you said like 40 weeks a year sort of thing. So no, I get it. By all means, I'm a complete rookie. I travel for work only a few times a year. And when they send me on project, but being out there, I can only imagine. I was sitting next to someone that was coughing on the way back. And then on the second flight, there was a small kid that was hacking up a lung across the row from me. And her mom was just like, I could feel her like just that feeling of like, I'm so sorry. And the person that sat next to her, he was like, are you sure, you're not okay? Because I know you're not germaphobe or anything. He was like, no, it's fine. That's fine. You just like, he grabbed some, I even was like, got Purell, guys. If you want to pass it down, I'm totally not against your kid, but I get it. We're on a plane. And she was like, yeah, sure. So pump.
Spread it on the kid's face.
Rub it down all over the kid's face. No, yeah, absolutely. Just, I
mean, like, right. There's a lot of people talking about it. Honestly, the flu would take out more people and do more damage, right?
Right.
Like from a just loss of work impact on the economy, medical reasons, right? The flu is a little bit more dangerous to a larger spectrum of people and things like that. This virus is bad, right?
It's terrible.
And folks are suffering from it. So, it was risky. Is that the word I want to use? It was
yes.
It wasn't the smartest decision to go to a place where 30 to 50,000 people were going to be crammed into a room and touching each other and climbing over each other and constant bumps and all that stuff. So it was good that everyone would clean that up.
Yeah. So that was, so I want to talk about, before we jump into the actual thing, just like you said, every station, every game company, everybody had hand sanitizer. Yep. Everyone had Lysol. It was
pretty intense.
It was amazing. And I, being from knowing that other countries exist, obviously, countries like China and Japan and all that, the norm has always been the face mask when either you're sick or you're in a public area, and they come in different designs and whatnot. This is the first year where I saw as many Americans as I would have seen in other countries walking around with their face masks, with their decorative face masks and stuff. And you know what? It felt the norm. It felt like that's okay. And again, remember, guys, the face mask isn't to protect you, more so to you protecting other people from you if you have a cold.
Keeps your germs inside.
Keeps your germs inside. So that was great. So people that were coughing
it's
and
nice and concentrated and gooey.
Delicious.
So, Rolls, this is interesting, right? I mean, I don't want to get too nerdy about this stuff, right? But you're right. Yes. Right now the stat is like that. But the trick with the coronavirus is that its fatality percentage is about 2.9%, which is much higher than the flu, which is 0.1%. Right. So mathematically, the flu is going to infect a lot more people, but has a much lower mortality rate. The dirty lie with the coronavirus is that the mortality rate isn't anyone under the age of 10, anyone under the age of 20, anyone under the age of 30. It's old people.
Yeah.
So that's where the flu is. That's where you don't want to bring it back. You're going to wipe out all of the presidential candidates, right? That's what's going to happen. Ugh. Did I say that out loud? But they're all over 70, right? So they're all at risk, is what I would say. How's that? That was not a threat. And right, our grandmothers, our grandfathers, our great grandparents.
Mi abuela.
Mi abuela.
Yeah, that's totally true.
So that's why you're trying to be good at it, right? The Pope may or may not have it. I think all of the Iran Parliament has it. So it's spreading quickly in that sense. So while the stat today is that the flu is still more dangerous, especially to children, the coronavirus just has not reached that critical mass to compete from a mortality perspective. So anyway, it was interesting to me that, no one took offense when you didn't handshake them. No one took offense when
as a matter of fact,
like, please don't touch my pieces.
I'm very handshake, like, during the networking, talking about the show and all that. So I went like that. I was like, oh no, wait, no, fist bump. He's like, yeah, we're doing face bumps today. It's like, so everyone was doing elbow bumps. The elbow bumps, that was happening a lot at PAX. So that was great. It felt like a mutual understanding of like, it's not that we don't want to, it's just that we don't want to die. And I was
let's be all honest, we should do that every year.
We should, and hopefully that
on every, like, sometimes you put on those headphones
and they're like
3 or 4 years. Oh, Mid-Geek Crisis, your go-to.
That's right. Brought to you.
Crisis. I am Dr. Cautious, and this is Dr. Afroman. We are going to be dropping health knowledge on you. Stay tuned later, Rolls, for our essential oil cure for coronavirus.
NJA. Right up there.
It's a lifestyle brand, the Mid-Geek Crisis.
That's right. We've also got some scented candles from me.
I've got a controller that's literally made out of healing crystals. So while you play games, you are being healed.
That's right.
Shameful, everybody.
Shameful. All right, so PAX East. So first off, PAX East is 4 days. 4 days of mayhem, craziness, awesomeness, sadness, happiness, tears, you name it. All the emotions happen. They flood. Mm-hmm. Games get announced. Games get shown. Games get played.
Yeah, it's true. Like any good story, I want to start at the end. Probably one of the highlights for me was all of us singing to each other as we went down the escalator after our final goodbye.
That was totally awesome. It was great.
So we all get together literally I see the Afro-Man once or twice a year. I see my brothers once or twice a year. I see my college friends once or twice a year. And this is one of those times I get to see them all.
This is that kismet moment where all of us come together in one place,
play games and hang out, and it was fantastic. We're all sort of just hugging and saying goodbye, and then suddenly we're all singing really cheesy songs to each other. I think Seal was sung at one point.
I think,
right?
Yeah.
It's so hard
to say goodbye. So yes, absolutely.
A lot of fun embarrassing ourselves on the escalator as we had to say goodbye. So so that was one of the highlights for me.
Yeah, it was a great highlight, and by all means, it's gonna stick. So that's great. But seeing your brothers who are friends of the show
once a year. My sister related my
that's right, Haley. We don't get to see Haley from brother or sister more than once a year, and she's fantastic. We need to find more ways to see her. And she was also
cosplay famous, which is
she got all cosplay famous. So hopefully that train keeps on rolling for her. She needs to make more appearances, maybe some smaller cons in the Ohio area. Find way to keep
enough with the management. And let her blast in her glory. Let her blast in her glory. But yes, it was fun seeing everyone and enjoying everything.
Absolutely. So let's talk again. 4 days. I get there on Wednesday. I flew in from the Dallas area. My flight was nice, and I as a good tourist of the Boston area, your favorite city, your brother's favorite city. First thing I did is I took an Uber from the airport to my favorite lobster roll place. Mm-hmm. Gotta happen. So that's the first thing I do. I gotta christen the trip with a nice.
That's beautiful. That's really
healthy lobster.
The first thing we did, I caught a ride with a good friend, was get sucked off the wrong way into the stupid dig. Couldn't get out, and as we were pulling out, we got into a small accident. So that's the Boston experience I have. It was just a light little bump. And a lot of cursing, and then my buddy did a very good job of. They yelled at each. It was really weird. They cursed at each other for a minute, and then he was like, "Are you okay?" And the guy immediately cooled down, like, "Yeah, I'm okay." It was just sort of I
didn't hear about that. That's awesome.
I mean, it was barely anything. It was a little tap on the side. So
love tap.
Just because once you get sucked into the dig, there's no escaping it. You're just in that traffic tunnel for 20 minutes until you pull out to the right. And that's
Yeah.
So that was my first experience in Boston. And honestly, like, I'm not a huge fan of Boston, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
The waterfront's always nice, and so is Weston.
Yeah, the Weston is great. They treat us good. So first day on the floor. What I think what was great is PAX has spread. PAX, when it was in a 3-day incarnation, was dense. It was a pound cake of geekdom, and every day felt like you had to hit everything all at once. And it was hard. It was getting harder and harder. 30,000 people showing up to this convention, and everyone just wants to see the big games. And so I think the PAX guys listened. They were like, "This needs to be 4 days." And so what they did is they spread it out. So starting last year, the year before last, I think it went to 4 days. And it started Thursday. So now it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And Thursday is got to be my favorite day from now on. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, it's by far my favorite day. It's Thursday. It's a lot emptier, and if I'm honest, the coronavirus probably kept some folks away. The fact that the big game this year that was supposed to be there stayed away. Right? Sony dropped out.
So no
so
Last of Us 2.
Last of Us demo, which was the big thing. So, and it's interesting, right? When a demo like that drops out, you wind up having another game able to shine brighter. Right? So like that DJ game, which I already forgot the name of.
Fuser
was there. Like they were able to dominate the space as the big game of the con.
And that booth was amazing. That giant statue looking thing, that I don't know, weird relic. I don't even know what to call it. It was like just like a deity. It was like
the goddess of music was rhyme and dropping beats on everybody from in there. So because of that and Sony dropping out, we wound up with so much more space. Like I got to just walk from demo to demo. I played like 7 or 8 demos with barely any wait. Some games that I would never try because usually the lines are so long, and were long on Friday and Saturday.
Right.
Thursday, I mean, if ever you get the chance to go to PAX East, Thursday's the day to go if you love video games.
Right.
If you like everything else, any other day is okay. But if you like the video games and you want to try a bunch of demos, Thursday's the day to go.
Thursday's the way to go. And let's see, the announcements was Fuser. Fuser was announced the day that PAX came out. Harmonix was like, boom, new game. Coming off of the almost bankrupts of not Guitar Hero Live, but of Rock Band Live. And
I don't know how. I guess the peripheral was so expensive.
The peripheral, it cost them a lot of money. The licensing was happening. People played it, and then it was like no one was playing it anymore, and it just shot straight down. Everyone was getting tired of it. No one wanted it. I mean, you go to any resale store and you see just plastic instruments being given away. Like they can't even give them away because no one wants to have. They take up a lot of space, and so the genre was dead. It was sold out. Like, I mean, it was played out is the best way to term, and no one wanted to play it anymore. And so, Fuser is here now, or will be here in the fall. And it looks like, if anyone's familiar with drop mix. So Harmonix 3 years ago, right around the holidays, dropped a board game, or an electronic board game called Drop Mix, which was going to be kind of their like intro to like tabletop kind of thing. And it was really cool. It was an electronic device, and you could buy expansion packs which gave you cards. They were like little magnetic cards that read, you drop them on, and the whole purpose was you'd buy a rock pack and a hip hop pack and a top 40s pack and an 80s pack, and then you can like grab these cards, play them, and then you drop them in on these little slots, and you can make a live mix like right there on the table. And it was really cool. It got really good reviews, but the company, I think they couldn't keep manufacturing it, and they dropped on price, and it went away. But it looks like the idea was sound, and so Harmonix went, let's take Drop Mix and make it a video game, and that's what they did. That's exactly what it did.
It was already a video game with like a DJ game, wasn't there? A DJ game.
There's been a few DJs. There's been DJ Hero, which is a Guitar Hero, but. So the difference is Guitar Hero, the original, was Harmonix, right? And then they sold the Guitar Hero license to Activision, and Guitar Hero was the competitor. It became the competitor to Rock Band. Rock Band became their new thing. Rock Band was more about the music. They were very specific. Like if they played a song, the keys would match. There wouldn't be extra keys. Guitar Hero was about just like beats. Let's put tons of colors and lights. So it was less precise, more arcade. And both of them had their merits. But then the next jump was Guitar Hero was DJ Hero, right, by the table and all that. This game is a little different. This game is like different songs and actual licensing and mixing, and so it's almost same concept, not the same.
Not the same. Got it.
So
I think you're right, Rolls, right? So, nobody wants to be the guitar player anymore. Everyone wants to be Marshmallow, which is
right. The next Marshmallow, the next Avicii.
It's interesting that you say that. Like, I have a friend who's got a wonderful, smart kid who wants to make music. And when I asked her what, she says she wants to make electronic music. And
EDM is where it's at right now.
So she needs she asked for a high-powered machine. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this kid's going to be gaming? No. So she can make music. And
she can make music. You need powerful music. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Do it. Right. But yeah, you're actually right.
Fair enough.
I mean, we're dropping these amazing ideas here, right? Why not a furry singer show, right? Why not?
That's what it is.
But you can't unmask them, right? Because part of their persona is the persona.
Persona. But yeah, so that was a big game there, and it was awesome because it hadn't, for the first time, it didn't feel like it was taking up so much of the floor. It had a big enough booth that you still didn't feel like it was, just like in the way. That tends to happen quite often where it's big game.
You wind up having to navigate around the line instead of actually navigating. Yeah, no.
But it was nice. Baldur's Gate showed up.
Yeah. I didn't actually get the chance to play the game as I wasn't very interested, but I got the stupid picture of me.
Yeah, I put mine up. In the that's great. You got a little card and gives you some stats. I thought that was fun.
I showed it to my kiddo. She was like, "Is that real?" And I'm like, "No." Come on, kiddo.
Lithids are real, man.
Yes, they're right behind you.
All the time.
Yeah. So, but Boulder, it looked like more of the same, which I know there's a huge group of people who love that genre. I play real D&D, so I don't have a need for video game D&D. I'm sure if I wasn't playing real D&D, I'd want to play.
I know. To be fair, a few years back, we played Neverwinter. Remember, there was a demo booth for that.
Oh, dude,
wasn't that? It felt nice, but it was lacking still.
Yeah, it was just lacking that interpersonal experience, right? That's there you go. Well, first,
I watched the video. Sorry, we moved on from that. We moved on.
Yes, rewind it right there. So, but it was, it looked good. It looked fun. I watched the videos for us, so yeah, we're there. And what did I try? So, what games did you try? The first game I tried was Magic Legends.
Yeah. That was. Let
me see if I could probably share this. So go ahead.
So first thing I did, Thursday hit the floor. I was like, I'm gonna wake up early, and I did. I got up early and hit the floor running. And the first thing you got to do is if you want to hit that floor and hit the big game, you got to be in line by 7:30. Sit in line by 10 a.m. You'll be one of the first waves to come in and hit the floor. And when you do that, I immediately jetted right to the booth, and that was Animal Crossing.
That's right.
Animal Crossing was the big game, even though it comes out in a month, March 20th, or less than a month now, 17 days. Here's a game that brought the hype. Nintendo brought a booth of booths. It was probably one of the most amazing booths I've ever seen. They just recreated a full little section of village of Animal Crossing with a tree, with a crafting table, with rocks, with a river being projected in 3D. So that it was just in the right spot.
Throw it up there. I got a picture from Polygon, I think.
Yeah, there we go. Boom! Look at that! That thing right there. It's leaves, and you had Tom Nook, you had KK Slider, you had Isabel, just there walking around, and I get to take pictures with them. I mean, it wasn't amazing.
A moment the entire con where that line wasn't closed. I'm going to tell you right now. I don't know when it opened because it was literally closed the entire con. Like it was just people were always there. People were coming in from all sides. Everyone was super excited to take a picture with these mascots. It was great. It was amazing.
I think you have to catch it because even to be honest with you, they can only be out there about 15, 20 minutes at a time before they probably die of heat exhaustion. Those seats are not exactly the most ventilated. I can only imagine. So they would come out, do a dance, take pictures for about 20 minutes, and then they'd swap out. They'd bring another one in. And so I never got a chance to take a picture with Isabella because I kept missing that window. But I got my Tom Nook and I got my KK Slider.
There's your Tom Nook right there in case you wanted to see. Oh, yeah, the river effect. Everything about it was amazing. It made me sad to think that you couldn't go around and actually use a shovel and dig, right?
There's someone on the bridge and that river was constantly moving. It was animated. and it was exactly projected where it needed to be. That's that awesome 3D projection that just comes from the bottom, from the top. I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, it was like how would I? It was like the funnest thing to look at the con. Like, I'm not into that cute nonsense stuff, but it did look like the funnest, the most wholesome thing at the con. That's the word I'm looking for. It was the most wholesome.
So nice. And what was great is Animal Crossing is one of those games that brings everyone, like whether the old disheveled geek to the youngest geek, it brings a little lights that heart a little bit.
Or the horrifying capitalist who bought all the sweatshirts on the very first day. Let's talk
about that. So yeah, like I said, I hit the floor, and honestly, I wasn't gonna hit the demo. I never wanted to play the demo. I had seen enough of it. I wanted to keep everything surprise. The game comes out in 20 days. By the time I played it, I was like, no, I'm not going to play the game. But what I did want is Nintendo brought the merch. And the one thing was that Isabella pin. And that pin was going to be limited. And I wanted that pin because I want that pin. And so I hit the line and boom, got scanned up. And then the next thing I did is jump into that photo op line to kind of go take a picture. But I had no idea they hadn't brought out the mascots yet. So by the time I walked out of it, that's when all of a sudden freaking Tom Nook comes running in and Isabella comes walking. I was like, what? So then I had to find a way to get back in line. And by then the line everyone had saw him and the line just like cap. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that happened. But another line that was there was the merch line. Nintendo brought their own merch booth. Mm-hmm. And oof. I won't say things were cheap, but they did bring some limited edition stuff, some Animal Crossing hoodies, some Animal Crossing shirts, some PAX exclusive Animal Crossing stuff.
And they made the rookie merch store mistake that every merch store makes their first time at PAX, and that is no limits.
So people were buying them. Like the hoodies were $70 and the t-shirts were $40 a piece and $35 if you got the short sleeve.
How fast did the hoodie sell out? Go ahead.
The green Animal Crossing one with just like the silhouette of the village and Animal Crossing at the bottom sold out by the time I got into the line.
Yep.
And that meant that it was 10:30. The floor opened up at 10. So 30 minutes, that particular one had sold out for the day. And that meant that it sold out. That one sold out for the day. But it wasn't till like Friday when I finally walked by and I saw them projecting the price list and every single Animal Crossing thing that they were selling, whether it was a t-shirt,
sold out.
All had sold out.
So intense. So amazing.
Intense. Nintendo brought what they could, but I mean, I can't imagine them having even the inventory to feed the fans that were there. So
they were never going to feed the fans. That was just
what do we got here?
That was just a little bit. Let me see what we got. This Magic Legends. I don't actually know if there's like a screenshot of the game. It was an alpha. It was a little Diablo clone.
Yeah, it was Diablo.
Yep, little Diablo clone. Very smooth for an alpha, right? I was very, very impressed with how smooth it was.
That's how it should be rolled. But no, where you saw the double the price was immediately look on eBay and
people were already selling it on eBay on Saturday. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Magic Legends, right? If you like Diablos and you like Diablo clones and you like Magic, right here it is. Yo, dog, I heard you like Diablo clones, so I put some Magic in your Diablo.
So you can.
There's like cooldowns. You have a spell deck, but really it's just a rotating power system.
What was that conversation you had with the representative?
What do you mean?
Where you were like, so this is like cooldown power. It's like, oh, well, it's your deck.
Yeah, that's what they told me. I'm like, so this is so I can make a deck. No, they just go in it's a random rotation. But you got pets. There's a little bit of strategy. Of course, it's a demo, so there really wasn't much strategy to it than just clicking a bunch of buttons. My big disappointment is that playing this was supposed to give a pin, but they hadn't arrived. And then by Saturday, they just basically said, "Hey, we're never going to get the pins." So,
oh man!
So even though they said I would get a pin, I didn't get a pin. But whatever, I played it. I enjoyed it. It was an experience. We'll move on.
Don't worry, everyone at PAX West will get that pin for you.
Oh man. Mm. I tried to get those free pins at this con, but because of the whole coronavirus, I think, because of the China delays, because of everything, this con just did not get any of their pins in time. Even the PAX East limited edition pin, the actual con pins.
Yeah, so at PAX, they've got pins. They've got a show set, which is 4 pins that represent the PAX East one, and that one you walk up and buy usually. Mm-hmm. But then they've got a LE pin, a limited edition pin, 1 pin that gets sent to everybody. For one PAX, it's the PAX specific pin. So at South, they showed what the theme was, and the themes were school. It was a kind of a school thing. You know, they were kind of going with that alma mater kind of thing with the Latin, the school seal, kind of like a private school would do. Yep. And so PAX South had one with a seal with an S and E. The E was for PAX. So that was it. The pin was that seal. It's a cool looking pin. And the South one looks great. But the East one, because of the virus and because all the manufacturing was held up. And so they didn't have it. So the craziness to get this pin was show up at the merch booth and show up at 8 o'clock in the morning. Even though the con didn't open until 10, at 8 o'clock, this line would open up and then they would hand out cards to everyone. And they were giving them to everybody.
Then you had to be first in the web store to get your.
Right, and then immediately you hopped on the website because they would sell out on the website. So you'd hop on. It wasn't like one card represented one pin. It wasn't that way. So you'd get on and give you a code. It was a discount code of $500, right? So there was this pin that was up for $515, free shipping. And then you put free shipping, and then you put in this discount code that would drop it down to $15.
Yep.
So that was a way to prevent someone from buying it, but I guarantee you there was someone out there that paid $515.
There was someone online who made a mistake the day I did it. They had they ordered it without putting in the code and paid $515 off their card. And I was like, I hope I don't make that same mistake.
Yeah, no, I made sure of that too. I was like, and what was sneaky about it was it wouldn't let you put in the code until you chose, like if I chose PayPal, I'd choose PayPal and it would open up PayPal and authenticate 515. And then
you have to go back.
You have to go back.
It was like my PayPal did not have $515.
Right. That's what I did. I said, nope, I paid with card. So I put in the card info, hit next to checkout, then it put in the code, and then to the final checkout button. So I didn't want it to like authenticate 515 out of my PayPal.
It did for me, and then it gave me back. It was crazy. It was a ridiculous system. I hated it. I don't know why I couldn't just buy it online and they gave me a code and I could type it in online to say I had bought it at the con and blah blah blah.
Yeah, why couldn't I just buy the? Yeah, it was a sloppy mistake. PAX, fix it. Be better. Love you.
Yeah, folks who didn't make a sloppy mistake. Let's talk about
Team 17.
Yeah, let's talk about this, man. This game,
man,
so much fun. We played it at con. This is Moving Out by Team 17. For me, this was my game of the con. I had so much fun sitting down with y'all and playing it.
Yeah.
4-player co-op, couch co-op, movers, professional movers. I think the abbreviation winds up being FART, like fast acting.
Yeah, speed.
Relocation team.
Yeah, relocation
team. Your job is to move a house into a moving truck, and you can see in this quick shot. This is just a little GIF where they're just throwing the things over the pool, bouncing it off the couches. There's a moment here with you have a button where you can just slap another player, and
you just walk up.
And there's no real game reason to slap another player. It's not like they get dizzy. It's just.
And it's such a satisfying slap too, because it makes a good sound. And
the controller is so good. It was myself and Joe. And who do we play with? Was it Steve? Who do we play with?
Yeah, it was Steve. It was Steve, you, me, and a
stranger. And the rando was just like, what is going on with these three idiots? Because we were just trash talking to each other.
Trash talking. But it was so much fun. You different levels. I mean, the Frogger level alone, we didn't beat it because we couldn't
get across the goddamn street. So, it was great. So if you like couch play, you have a Nintendo Switch, this is the game I think that's coming up. And it's releasing in like 10 days.
Yeah, it's releasing soon. I'm not exactly sure what day they said.
This was another pin tragedy, by the way, Kendo, if you're keeping track of all the pin tragedies. This one was if you played 2 demos at the Team 17, you got a sweet Worms pin, which I desperately wanted. Mm-hmm. They didn't have the pins by Saturday either, right? So
yeah, they were out of the pins, right? So
no, they just canceled their pin promotion. They just never got them. Nobody got their pins.
I'm gonna have to find a way. I'm gonna message Team 17 like, hey, I played. I want my
send him a picture of the moving out box. See if you can get it that way. Right?
Yeah, be like, hey, I played. Give me my pin.
I played your game.
It's a sweet pin. I'm a big fan of Worms, Team 17 in general, and it was actually like a little Worms guy with like a bazooka, and I was like, yes, I want that. And
who isn't a fan of Worms? Everyone's played Worms at some point or other, right?
Man, yeah, absolutely. Playing it on DOS back in the day. The little pixelated version of it was great. The first version, Team 17, fantastic.
Amazing couch playing or a local area network.
Yeah, I remember sitting in front of my like CRT with like 3 of my friends, and we just like passed the keyboard and like, and then everyone always made the mistake of holding down the bazooka as opposed to the jump and then blow themselves up. No, yeah, exactly. So Worms is great. It's a good retro. It's a game that's had longevity, and it's only getting better. And not only is it getting better, it's a game that kind of comes back around and goes, yeah, people want co-op, people want that team play. Worms are gross and creepy.
So yeah, worms and is it worms and leeches?
Worms and leeches, yeah.
You remember playing that at summer camp? There you go, Kendo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I played it.
Oh man, so that was one. That was another game. What else did we play day one? We started playing some board games, right? So we sat down and played a game. Sat down and played Fire Tower, which is the game that I think became kind of the small game of PAX. It was at PAX South, but
it was the game of the con.
Once again, let me bring that up real quick, and I will show you guys. But fantastic little little game. It's fast, and it is a Kickstarter game, or was, and now you can actually buy it.
So the casino of this game, right? 4-player game is you're setting each other on fire. Like that's very simply it. You're four towers on either end of the map, and your job is to burn down the other 4 towers in the corner. And the way you do that is fire spreads. You can control the wind. You can create fire explosions. You try to stop the fire with water. Super simple game. I mean, like it took us about 3 minutes to understand it, and then we were burning each other's towers down. And there's nothing more satisfying than those little fire gems to put down on the dazzlers. I think the person we were playing with called them, right? Dazzlers, putting them down. Beautiful little things to just make it great. And for me, it was just I could set it up with anyone in 5 or 6 minutes, and they were playing. There was no delay, no false start, no questions mid-game. They just knew how to play. So,
yeah, it's simple. It's a die.
$39 was the perfect price point. They were there selling it for $39 just as they sold it this Kickstarter. And it was, I mean, for the lightheartedness of this game, the rapid play, $39 is the perfect price point.
Absolutely. So check them out, guys. And I think next month or so they'll be kicking off a second.
The Firehawk expansion.
So they'll be doing expansion for the Firehawk expansion, and these games. Sometimes when you get that DLC, that extra content, it adds even more to the game, and it allows you to kind of even board games get DLC nowadays. Even board games get DLC nowadays. And
we call them expansions for the
expansion. We call them expansions.
And one of the wonderful things I like about PAX is being able to borrow this game. So we took this game out of the game library.
Right. So
and then we found the designers on the floor and bought it directly from them. And I told them, I was like, this game is fantastic. It's awesome.
I walked right up and paid. I was like, give me the board.
Yeah, give me the game. Here's $40. Give me $1 back, and I love your game. Right. So they were. It's always nice to see the developer give that feedback directly to developers, which is
isn't it great though? Like you talked to them and told them how much you like it, and you saw their faces light up. Like yes, more people really liking it. And it's not like they didn't know. I mean, you can see that they made $76,000 on their Kickstarter, but I guarantee you they've made more than that at already selling the board game from.
I hope so.
I hope so.
I mean, the fact that they're offering expansion means they're working their butt off.
Yep.
What else? I played some weird games, right? So let's talk about the weirdest game of the con. Let's
talk about that one that you played. Bring it up, and that's it's Unmemory, right?
Unmemory is what I'm going to bring up.
Oh man,
Hasbro does not show up. It's not. The Hasbro did not show up, right? You need to discuss free parking with them. You cracking me up here, buddy. So it does not show up. Here's a game I played. It's called Unmemory. Now,
I want you to explain it as best as you can, because it makes sense to me, but that's because I saw it. But it's going to be hard for you to explain it.
It's hard to explain. So this is a text-based. It says it right there: a text-driven puzzle adventure game, and so all the clues are in the text in this very odd way. But as you scroll down, right on the,
it's like you're reading a PDF.
You're reading a big PDF, and you're reading it, and then eventually it says something like, "I moved away the curtains with my fingers." And then there's like a thin colored line on the text.
The PDF, like a page break.
Yeah, it's a pixel break. And if you open up the pixel break with your fingers, clues start to reveal. And then the text actually updates and changes, right? And so you can scroll down, and you'll scroll down, and all of a sudden the phone will start ringing. And you're like, wait, I read about a phone higher up. And you'll scroll back to the beginning, and you'll find that phone again, and you have to answer it, right? And then it'll give you a clue later down. So you're jumping back and forth in this text to solve a mystery.
But there was also a moment. I mean, I know that you had a pen and paper.
Oh yeah, because you can't. It's got deep, difficult puzzles that sort of like that you've got to write down little bits and pieces. I mean, one of the ones was you get a phone call and they give you 3 clues, and you just got to quickly jot down the clues so that you can go back and forth. Now, it's super forgiving, right? Like I could have listened to the message again instead of having to write it down. It just felt faster to write it down. How you say, it was hard to play it at PAX East. Like it's one of those like games I would enjoy.
Yeah.
But enjoying it at con is super difficult because, like, once you get into sort of like breaking a cipher or cryptography or the sort of puzzles that involve letter matchups, it's just not fun to do at a con. It's too distracting, too much noise, things like that. The guy next to me actually solved it by looking at someone else's page, like just looked at the page and did the cipher right off of there, things like that. But if you like text-based adventures and it's on the iOS, which I think is pretty neat. It was a pretty cool puzzle. I mean, it had that. I mean, they mentioned Memento and Mulholland Drive. I would say more Mulholland Drive than Memento.
Yeah.
It had that neat sort of like noir puzzle feeling that you might enjoy. And again, small developer. They were in the indie spot, which is where I spent nearly all of my time anyway.
Trying to find the other game that we played, and here it is. Here we go.
Are you pulling up a fold apart?
No, not yet. But we'll talk about that one in a second. But I do want to talk about the one game that we both played, the puzzle game that we both played.
Oh, Maquette.
Maquette. Yeah, and I'm bringing it up now. Hold on. Boom. Maquette. This game was weird. I'm gonna pull.
So just if I have even one single developer who is watching our show or watching our show in the future, watching old episodes, if you've got a 20-minute demo, like just let people stack up, just let people play the game together. Like allow 2 or 3 players to enjoy the game together.
Give
just
them headphones and work as a team.
You're only going to get like 4 people an hour, which is, even if you got 4 setups, that isn't very good, right? You need more, especially on a deep puzzle game where you're giving people unlimited time to play. Right. I would have never solved this game without Joe sitting behind me being like, "Put the key down, you idiot." But I just couldn't conceptually get my head around it. I hadn't stuck my head in it. Beautiful game, great concept, right?
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about this concept. So this is a weird game. It took me a little bit to kind of get what the game was about, right? So the obviously it's a narrative-based game where someone is telling a story, and it looks like the story involves some sort of like some personal tragedy, some personal relationship with another person, a love story of some sort. But you're never told why you're in this world, or if this is the normal world, or if this is someone's imagination or whatever. But the idea is you're kind of going through this person's relationship, at least by memory. And you walk into this world, and this world is kind of like a giant. It looks like this. It's a giant kind of
maquette, big old like carnival thing, or
carnival / like Roman Colosseum kind of feeling, kind of old Spanish, maybe Greek buildings. Very, very weird. But what was interesting is you're in this world, and then when you get to the center hub of this world is a miniature version of the world.
And you can see it right there in this picture, right? You can actually
So like there's this giant dome right here, and then there's a little miniature version of the dome right here. And so that what you have to kind of wrap your head around is the puzzle elements of this are you'll get like words of a story written against the wall. And then that kind of gives you a clue on where to go. So you're following, eventually you get to a point where you can't move. So then you walk to the miniature version of the world, and you realize that, oh, wait, there's something I can do here. And then you walk back to the real version of the world, and there's a miniature bridge somewhere on display. So then you pick up the miniature bridge in the real world. It's miniature in your hands. Then you drop it into the maquette, into the little miniature world, scale model, and it becomes a full-size bridge. And as soon as you drop it, you turn around, and in that same spot in the real world, a real bridge appears.
Yep.
So then you cross the bridge and you do more puzzles. But then there was a moment where you kind of like realize, wait a minute, this works the opposite way.
That was the big leap, I think, the logical leap.
Yeah, the logical leap was eventually you found a giant golden ticket that was this big. And then you walk up to this door, and there's a little bitty ticket cut out. And I'm like, huh. And then we go, wait a minute. We grab it, the big one, because it's big in the real world, and we drop it into the small world.
No, you leave it in the.
Oh, you leave it. That's right. You leave it right by the door.
Small world, yeah.
And then you walk over to the small world, and there's the ticket now. But now it's tiny. So then you pick up the tiny one, and you walk back over to the real world, and then you plug it in, and that opened up a whole new world. And then another part where we found a key, but I'm like, hey, wait, the shape of that key is weird. Grab that key. They grab the key, so you have this giant key. And well, it's a key about this big in your hand, not really big, but then you drop it on the map on a specific spot, and then that giant key becomes a giant key in the real world as a bridge. It was really neat, kind of like you have to wrap your head around that Inception slash.
You can see how the puzzles can get really complicated if you mix puzzles with 3 or 4 items that you have to combine. Right, you
make them big, make them small, take a small piece, make it a big piece again. It was great. I'm an idiot when it comes to these sort of games, so it was great. Like, I mean, even the developer was laughing, right? Because Joe was right. Well, you walked up and you're like, "We're both together."
We share a brain.
We share a brain, half a brain.
No way either one of us are going to solve this puzzle by ourselves. Just let us do this together.
Yeah, and we were able to complete. I think there was some people that just like walked away. We're like, I don't know how to do this.
There was someone there for like an hour. The whole time I was online, he was like, really. I mean, I was impressed that he kept doing it. Right, really struggling with the concept. And going through it. Well, like sometimes gamers are like, I'm just going to keep trying the same exact thing until this puzzle solves itself.
Right.
That's what was going on. I was watching it play, and I'm like, that's not going to work the 100th time you try it.
So again, this is coming from Annapurna Interactive, which is again makers of Outer Wilds, makers of Donut County, publishers of fantastic games that have just taken the gaming world by storm. If you're a fan of any of those games,
qualify as an indie gamer company anymore? Are they still?
I mean, they're big, but it's the developers, right? So the small developers are the ones making it, and they've just become the boutique publisher. Like they can just go. It's kind of like
boutique, yeah.
Yeah. So Annapurna, Devolver is another one. So you can be an indie developer of an action game of some sort of game, and then go to Devolver and say, "Hey, do you like my game?" And then they go, "Yes, this is awesome," and then they put it out. Ape Out. They were showing a game called Carrion, which was amazing looking. I don't know if you got to play that or see it.
Did not get to play Carrion.
It was a really fun looking game. It was like you were an alien, like an evil alien red blob with tentacles, and so you escape from a science experiment. So you're like grabbing the guards with your tentacles and like absorbing them, and you've got like a mouth. And you're just like very organically, like kind of like spider like across the level. It just looked very.
I can get behind that though.
Yeah, yeah.
Really I like that concept. That's
really fun. So yeah, again, Annapurna, great game. Again, they blew me away. Last year was one of my favorite games. Sayonara Wild Hearts. They're the publisher of that. So
that was there as well. A lot of people were talking about that game while we were in the maquette line, which cracked me.
Oh, that game, we played it. It was great. So yeah, that was another one that was fantastic. What was the other one we talked about? Fold. We
can do a fold apart. I was gonna. Yeah, let's throw that up there here. Let me see. I couldn't find a video of this one. Is this anywhere? Here we are. So this is one of those like neat concept indie puzzle games. Actually, no, if you can see it. Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see it.
Where you literally like fold the map. I actually found the puzzles challenging in that you sort of have to conceptually. I don't know how
so
to
the pitch was it's a long distance relationship is what it's about, right?
You're trying to bring the two people together.
So it shows one part of the world, the other part of the world, and bridges and platforms and everything else. You grab the screen and fold the screen over to kind of like put things together so that you can walk across, which is really neat. Kind of
really neat. And they were how you say diverse friendly, if you will. I don't know if the right terminology is, but you can pick any combination of couple, any combination of gender, combination in a relationship, which I thought was pretty neat. So the sort of thing that you could do without even thinking twice about it, right? It doesn't have to be a man and a woman. It could be a man and a man, woman and woman, trans and trans, right? Like you can do it any way you want. Just go for it, and the pixels tell the story regardless, because it's still a love story. We try to bring people together.
Beautiful art. I like the concept. They reminded me
as well.
Yeah, what did you say? And we kind of it reminded me like the characters from the emotions from Inside Out.
Yeah, they look like the kids. So you got sad on one side, and you got the others on the side. So and they're very evocative sort of faces as well. And it was kind of a neat, like spatially, it was kind of a neat puzzle. Like I find the way people design puzzle games for like the Switch and all these things amazing to me, because I'm always like, how did you even think about like folding the screen to bring two platforms together so you can cross this map? It's pretty
right and that was wow. I mean, yeah, again, mechanics in these indie games is always what gets me. They always find a way to bring you in by showing you a completely different mechanic. I mean, we played a bunch of them. We played that one little samurai game, which was another game like Towerfall, remember? Which I can't even remember the name, but it was just fun. We grabbed
Samurai
it and played it.
Showdown, Samurai Noon, some sort of weird.
Samurai something 2. It was a sequel to something. It showed you play different samurai and you bounce around the screen like Towerfall, and it was just slash, psh, blood would
throw up. But that was like a great game, and then you moved on with your life. It was like a little 3-minute game you play while you're waiting for your fourth friend to show up, right?
Let's talk. I'm going to talk about one of my favorite games, my game of the con, and that was only because I sat down with the devs and just really loved it, and that was Season. This was a small little game, literally two stations, very corny. This is kind of representative of
Animal Crossing, which is a rough place to be. Like it was Animal Crossing took up half, like a big portion of. They were behind them.
They were behind them. So you wouldn't have found, like, if you didn't want to cross that line, you wouldn't have found, or you would have had to walk around it and then double back to the other side. Made an effort. And this is a game that caught my eye right from the art. They had a big banner in the art, and I loved the art style immediately when it caught my eye. And then as I was waiting in line, there was only 2 people in front of me, and I heard the dev. And like I said, I was like, this really caught my eye. Let me take a look at it. And as soon as I saw the movement, I was just like, gotta play this game. So I stuck around, and boy, I'm so glad I did.
You did it so much you brought back Jordan to play it.
Right. And Season, and kind of gives you this is the press kit. I had to download it because they don't have too much information on their website yet. But again, Season is a bicycle road trip game, sort of, not really. You play a young person from a remote village coming into the wider world to record and document culture before a mysterious cataclysm washes everything away. And that seems to be the point of the game. Is you are a person that, I mean, you'll see here on a bike, and you'll see like a tape recorder and a video camera, and he's got a journal, or you know what, I don't know the gender of the character.
He or she, right? Doesn't matter.
You can't really tell. But immediately what caught my eye was first was a person of color, which was great. And then I was noticing that there was, representation is always fantastic. And I was like, I've got to play this game. And the game felt like a combination of Life is Strange, Breath of the Wild. What was another one? It felt like another one as well. You had mentioned it.
It had a little bit of The Walking Dead, the sort of Telltale games.
Very Telltale game kind of feel.
Sort of X or Y or Z for every sort of the combination of choices you might have. Right. And the characters talking to each other had the same sort of like I don't want to say comic book action style, but it's got a comic book action style. Right.
What really got me was so here's the art, like I said, and let's see if I can pull down. They had some pictures. This is actually the gameplay. That's what the gameplay looks like. And so when you look at this game, immediately you see this world without a twist or anything. You see this world, and you're like, wow, it's beautiful. It's lush. It feels like that moment in Breath of the Wild when you kind of walk through the forest and whatnot. But you see roads there. And then you're like, there's roads there, but this looks like an old town. And then you end up running into temples and whatnot. But then you come to find out that these aren't old ruined arches. These are just a highway that used to be there. These are overpass chunks that are not there anymore. And so the purpose of the game, like it says, is you are there to record a civilization that's about to get wiped. And so get there in the demo, you come to find out that a flood is coming. And you're there to capture a little bit of that culture that's there before this valley gets completely underwater now. It'll never be without water. A dam is coming down, and
there's real life examples of this down in the Tennessee Valley and things like that, where they just flooded whole villages that are long gone now because of progress.
And so you go there, and you get these great choices, right? So you walk up to like a small fishing hole where you can see that maybe people would have gone to, and you notice certain flowers that aren't growing anywhere else, and so you're given this option to like draw it, or you're like see, hear, or smell. And then you choose one, and whatever you choose gets documented in your journal. And that from here on out will be the one thing left. You've now written the one thing that people will be able to remember about that one spot. That will be the record of this location.
Pretty awesome.
And same thing. You saw people, you saw animals, and you get to read this tragedy. You end up meeting a priest at a temple or some sort of priest. And again, you come to find out that all of this was at one point in the past, a city. Yeah. It was a city, and then you realize that it's no longer a city; it's returned to nature, and now it's returning even once again. The culture is being wiped out once more to bring underwater. So it was beautiful. I loved every moment of it. It showed it was pulling from different cultures. There was a language that didn't exist. It was a culture that didn't exist. It looks like it was a little mix and match from the developers' travels, and
look spiritual and respectful, which is an amazing thing to do in a video game.
So check it out, guys. It looks like Scavenger Studios. This game played excellent, and the development started in September is what they told me, which was
their
amazing.
website is play-season.com. So if you try to look up Season the game, you're not going to find it.
You're not going to find it. It got like not enough press. So
we should put up a link on our own Facebook.
We will. I will for sure. I'll grab that press kit and throw something up for them. So yeah, that was one of my games of the con.
So we were both in different places, right? Joe picked the beautiful, knowledgeable voyage for a spiritual character to enjoy. I'm like, I just really enjoyed the slap button in that moving game.
Button in that game. But that was another thing. And one more thing I want to talk about. Let's talk about something that we found at the PAX that probably existed and we didn't know about it. And this is what I love about PAX is things that we would have never realized until we saw the devs or saw the makers. And that was the one tool that we've been looking for. Parsect.
Oh, right.
I want to bring it up without bringing my own account information.
Yeah, step one.
Real quick. There we go. So this little tool looked phenomenal. I got to see it live in action, and it's called Parsect. And if you're a fan of PC gaming or in general, you might have even heard of it. But the idea is this is a program that you install on your computer, and it's local couch play co-op multiplayer. So there are a lot of indie developers that can't afford to make a web engine. They can't afford to make a multiplayer engine. They can't afford to purchase one. They make it couch co-op because it's the only way they can legitimately make the game. So there's lots of games out there. Emulators, for example.
They're intended to create a social experience that does not, right? They're a little different.
Yeah, and I get it. A lot of them want to make, but sometimes you can't. A good example is Pedro and me here. There's some games that are like that Moving Out game looks to be local co-op, and we won't be able to play Overcooked. Yep. Overcooked is a game that's local, not online. So what's a game that we can do is I could fire up Overcooked, and he will connect, and his controller gets mapped as a new controller on my computer, and he will get a very fast version optimized stream of the game. And so we can play a couch co-op game together, him being 1,600 miles away. And it worked. They had a local area network set up, not on the internet. It does not bounce off their servers. It is peer-to-peer. And they played a game of Moving Out. I saw them complete a level of grabbing boxes and throwing it. Like the timing was all there, and I was just blown away by the latency level. So this is going to be a game changer.
Putting it through the paces very soon is our plan here.
Yeah, we're going to be putting it in places. I've already created an account.
That's really rad. It's like all those games that you don't have friends that can come over because they're so far away, or it's just hard to coordinate, especially at the Mid-Geek age level where we've got kids and jobs and responsibilities. It's just hard to get your friends all in the same place at the same time to play a couch game that you're desperate to play together. Now this tool can sort of solve those problems.
Yeah, and
silky
smooth local co-op is no more. When you load the app, look, I'm gonna.
It's actually free if you could believe it right now.
100% free. And check this out. So right now, when you log in, there's my username, guys. It doesn't matter. This ladies and gentlemen, when you pull up the arcade, these are people playing, so they can broadcast their game if they want to. So here's a person playing Tekken 7, probably on their computer or the Dolphin emulator. And if I click on it, they see 1 to 2 seats. If I join, it'll bring it in. So this is a way they're playing a game and they just want a multiplayer. They want people to play, so they broadcast their arcade. So 1 to 2 players right now, 1 seat is taken. So if I hit join right now, it'll connect me to them, and I plug in my controller and I can play immediately.
That is amazing.
That's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. It reminds me of again, free, no one-time cost, no nothing. I talked to the devs. We talked to the devs personally. They were like, "Is there a cost?" They're like, "Nope. Absolutely 100% free." I don't know how long it'll be free, but if you create an account now, I guarantee you'll be grandfathered in some way, shape, or form.
I think they're hoping to sell this infrastructure to other developers, right? So you sort of support your free model for normals like us by selling this infrastructure to folks who want their couch multiplayer to be online, right? So
yeah, absolutely. It blew me away. I had to come back. I drug Pedro over to this. I'm like, check this out. This is something that's going to work. And
Joe did this amazing thing where he dragged me over and then maybe talk to the developer. I'm like, well, what questions am I supposed? Okay, let me just go with this, right? So Joe's trying to break me out of my
What's
shell.
interesting is Pedro can turn off that business side of him. I know he's got that business side. Like I've heard him like kind of like pontificate about business, and I'm like,
star. There we go.
Yeah.
I am. It is what it is. One weird thing, I don't know. I just want to throw this out there. Game to Grow. Let me see if I can get. There we go. Game to Grow.
Yeah.
They're Seattle-based. They're just like a nonprofit that does therapy with children playing D&D. They had a very, very small booth right next to the role-playing games, all the way in the back corner. But I talked to the guys there, and they do therapy for children, right? So they bring kids together, therapeutic and educational, folks who are at risk or need help handling sort of social things, right? They use board gaming and role-playing games, specifically D&D and some other role-playing games with licensed therapists and trained therapists to bring folks up. So if you're looking for a place to send your charity dollars and you want to support a nerd organization doing great things for kids, I think Games to Grow is the way to go if you're not already supporting Child's Play and all those other, put your dollars towards something that supports both your nerdiness, nerds who are doing good, and kids who need help. Here's one of those locations based in Seattle. They offer training, so if you're in that area, go for it.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. So I know we're hit that 1 hour, but I want to carve a good 5 minutes about our yearly tradition at PAX.
Do you have a picture you can put up? I don't know if there was a picture for us to put up here.
I'll grab one in 1 second if you start to talk.
So 3 years ago, I guess 2 PAXs ago, I said, hey, folks, I would love to run D&D for all of you there at PAX East and sort of make a tradition. I'm a big traditions person, as you are, Joe, right? I'm also a big break traditions person, so I love doing that too. So I put together a goofy D&D game for everyone. They had a fun time 2 years ago. Last year, we did it again. And so this year, I did it a third time and really upped it up, right? So I made little books for everyone, sort of a little. I wish I could find it, but I haven't fully unpacked. A little tome for everyone to store their characters' sheets in for the next, hopefully 10, 15, 20 years as we return to PAX East and play D&D. It was really fun. We ran it in a nice hotel room. So one of the nice things about staying in the Westin is that they have tables and conference rooms available for us to run. And you can see, I don't know if I can show you on the screen, but you can see right there that orange book. I made little tiny orange books with everybody's spells inside. With the idea being that from year to year, they can put their equipment in that book. And then next year, I'll bring those books back. I might put some secret notes or information in there for them for next year, and they can sort of level up and enjoy D&D.
It was a great idea when he told me how he was working on it. You take a basic little card carrier for like Pokemon or whatever, and turned it into like a little phone.
I can put a quick tutorial, but you can find it on Imgur, right? Do it yourself spell book is how I found it. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. It turns out that when you're playing a one shot with my brothers who are there in the picture there and 2 college friends who are also in the picture, it's just a pack of idiots, right? You guys are total morons who are here to play D&D, and you have a great time, right? You kill some monsters, you loot some treasure, you panic, you die. It's great. It's good fun. And I love that the paranoia sets in real fast with everybody. Every single NPC that I introduced, they did not trust. It was great. And so everyone's rolling insight rolls on humans, but not on any of the monsters, right? Kind of just guys, just roll a perception check and maybe you can figure out the weakness, right? So it was a great time. I love running D&D. I have a campaign that I run, but I also love running one shots for these folks because they don't get to play that often and they get to have a great time. It becomes a sort of highlight. We do it Saturday night, which leaves me Sunday to feel like, I've done the biggest thing and now I can just relax and chill, right? So Sunday becomes a sort of chill day, just mosey on through the floor, sing songs to my friends as I say goodbye.
Take the pictures. Well, we need to. I think we need to change something on Sunday. I think what needs to happen is everyone is tired. We've had a long 3 days. We need to find a breakfast place. That might need to happen.
I'd like to do like a continental breakfast. Where everyone comes together with muffins and coffee, and we just hang out together.
Yeah, sit at a table and kind of bring it all in. PAX is a religious experience in a way for us. It's definitely become not only a ritual, but it's a way to friends, family, loved ones. There aren't many other conventions that can do what PAX does. I can't reemphasize. Yeah. I mean, like there are. Don't get me wrong. There's other conventions. There's like, if you're into board games, there's like Gen Con, and if you're into anime, there's a lot of anime big conventions out there. Dragon Con is one that's apparently very geek based like this. PAX started with that. That was the initial foundation for it. I mean, its mantra, its motto is "Welcome Home." And I mean, I picked up the Letterman jacket that they had, and they wrote it on the. Another home is what it is. And that's what ends up happening. That's how it feels. So I get a little emotional going. I get a little emotional heading back. I'm a big softie when it comes to that kind of stuff, and it feels good.
Stuff full of nougat. You're such a softie. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But yeah, it was great, man. I didn't
go to the hospital this year or have some sort of debilitating back injury, so I think we could put this one as a success.
It's a successful PAX, as long as none of us
push our luck next year and see how it goes.
Absolutely. But yeah, guys, that was PAX. If you want to look through our stories, please hit up the Instagram. Please hit up our Twitter. I think I posted at least 100 pictures on there. There's more. If you click on our page and click on the memories section, you will be able to see just a whole highlight in the highlight section that's permanently there for at least a year for PAX 2020.
Also, check out the Coin Operated Collective. I don't know.
Coin Operated Collective. It's up here at the top right of our screen. Right up there. There we go. There's a logo there now, guys. It's official.
Show, brother sister rocks their
also,
own show.
Check out our YouTube page and the Coin Up Collective's page and watch if you're interested in one of the talks. Jordan from Brother Sister and a few panelists got together and had a amazing talk that they totally underestimated how many people were going to show up. When 600 people walk into a convention room and your eyes are like, oh my God, 600 people walked into a room to listen to Jordan and three other amazing academics talk about the religion of Zelda. Was great. It was great. I think they underestimated the fact that they were going to talk about a game called Zelda. And they thought that, who wants to listen to Religion of Zelda? Only everyone did.
Yeah. Q&A stuff at the end here as well. So really
amazing Q&A, some good questions.
Where you've got some opinions on Zelda. Check out that video because folks definitely had some things to say about what they said, and they had said some interesting things I hadn't considered. So
yeah, absolutely.
Awesome from those folks.
So guys, it's an hour 6. We went a little long. I love you guys. Episode 67 is in the can. Follow, like, subscribe, share all the wonderfulness. Please, again, any suggestions on the show? Please tweet us out, and we'll address them.
Yeah.
Right.
Always happy to chat. We'll be online on all the various Twitters and media stuffs.
All right.
I'm so tired.
I know. I hear you. We'll do a stream soon with some Parsec, maybe with some couch. What would be the first co-op game that you can think of off the top of your head that we'd want to try?
Off the top of my head?
Yeah.
I'd love to play Overcooked with you. Let's give that a whirl.
Let's
I'm like, I got to buy these games on my computer.
No, you don't. That's the thing.
Games you own, so whatever you want to try.
I got a huge Steam library.
Play that. That's already online multiplayer, so I'm just teasing.
We'll try it out.
Well, why?
All right, guys. Love you. Have a good week.